So this is activity 3, The Future of Schooling by George Edlin. So we're going to look at how to reimagine schooling in the education system. So first we need to look at what is school for. And I've broken it down into two main areas, I believe. Number one, to educate children how to be productive members of society. And two, to free up most adults from childcare so they can become productive members of society. Now, are these aims successful at the moment? Well, I say number two clearly is. Most adults are freed up from childcare so they can become productive members of society. And number one, are children being educated into being productive members of society? I'd say yes to some extent, but there's obviously ways we can improve that. Now, it's only a quick 5-minute video, so we can't talk about everything, but I come up with 3 ways to make our education system more efficient, more effective, problems and solutions. So, problem number 1. Students of different ability levels being taught together at the same time. This is a problem for the teacher because it's hard to find work in the Goldilocks spot for the children. Some children will find work too easy, some children will find it too hard. Those children will become demotivated and will not learn efficiently. And it's bad for the students because, like I said, they become demotivated and it's a slightly waste of their time if it's too easy or too hard. So the solution I would come up with was to abolish age constraints in the classroom. Not completely, but within 2 or 3 years, have students of slightly different ages, 2 or 3 years difference in the same classroom. Have the students in the classroom with students of the same ability, not necessarily the same age. This is easier for the teacher to come up with work that's suitable for all students, and it's easier for the students to be with peers of a similar ability for similar reasons. Problem number 2, lack of real-world relevance. School is, in my opinion, too theoretical and not connected enough to the real world, to reality. This is an unmotivating factor for students, I believe. If they don't understand why they need to learn something or why it's relevant for them, they will switch off and not be interested to learn it. And frankly, if students are turned off, switching themselves off from learning, it's a waste of everyone's time. So solution to this I would propose is to make the classes more real world relevant. And several ways. Have classes on things that students need to learn to navigate the world, such as how to open bank accounts, how to buy a house, apply for a mortgage, how to cook, how to change a car tyre. Practical things like that should be taught in schools, I believe, alongside the theoretical maths and science and traditional subjects. I would also open up and encourage more vocational schools and earlier than they are currently streamed for students. If students are not interested in the academic pathways, they should be allowed earlier and easier to take a different pathway, such as vocational schools. I believe this would encourage the students to stay motivated because they're working at something they believe in, and it would improve the academic pathway because it would cut out students who are unmotivated, disinterested and disruptive in the classroom. I would also, just as a caveat on that, I would make sure the door isn't completely closed. I would allow and make it clear that students who take one pathway can come back and switch between pathways if it's not what they want. The door's not closed on education regardless of age. And that would link back to problem solution number 1, age constraints in the classroom being loosened. That would students being able to switch pathways would aid in that as well. And problem number 3 is problem of time. In Malcolm Gladwell's book Outliers, he talks quite in chapters 8 and 9 about how Western students falling behind Asian students because they literally spend less hours in the classroom than their Asian contemporaries. The solution he comes up with, based on his experience with the KIPP schools, is less summer holidays, less vacation in general, and increased hours at school. Now, I would look at both of those, but I would also look at a third way, which was to increase the numbers of years a child goes to school. In Britain, I would add a 3rd year at A level, what Americans you believe I call high school. I would add a 3rd year to that, so students don't go to university until 19 rather than 18 it's at the moment. This would have the additional benefit of reducing the gap between those with a college or high school and American education and those with a degree. At the moment, it's too centered on universities. A degree is the only educational certificate worth having. This would help reduce that problem. So if an extra year at A-level would make that a more academically worthwhile certificate and reduce the need for everyone to go to university. So just a quick video. So that's only us 3 problems and solutions by George Edlin. Thank you.